Hello everybody, this is Brett's Brain Blog and all that. I am dealing with an issue that I believe to be, in like the top two biggest problems right now with my whole situation. And I can sum it up and then explain it. I have three emotional states that I go through right now. And most of the time, I'm going through more than one of them at once. It's like a barrage of simultaneous emotional problems. The first thing is, I'm kind of emotionally numb. Like the past 2 days, I've spent the entire day by myself. I'm in my parents' house. Nobody here. Now, throughout my entire life, 24 years of living, I could read a book, watch a movie, listen to some music, get on the internet, play video games, play with the cats. My parents have cats, go for a walk, clean the house even. I would enjoy that. Cook food, whatever. And all of these things would present a level of enjoyment that, I don't know, it makes the day go by. But now what I'm facing here is, no matter what I do, I have no interest in it at all. Maybe it's because I feel so bad that I can't get engaged, or it's almost what it seems like is, like I mentioned, an emotional numbness. That's the first of the three. It's like I'm emotionally numb to everything. It's like, a cat jumps on my lap and starts purring, and I'm just like, what the fuck do you want? Get off of me. And that's not the way I normally respond. I've been watching my favorite movies and TV shows, and it is actually painful to force myself to sit through them because I don't enjoy it. I want it to stop. Really, the only thing I can even tolerate is pacing around the house and obsessing over how bad I feel. It's almost like that is more tolerable than trying to enjoy anything, because I don't enjoy anything. I don't necessarily feel disgusted by it, but I don't enjoy it either. It's like there's no purpose in anything, so why do anything? Because I have no emotional response to any activity, period. And that's concerning, because that lends itself to depression and suicidal thinking when you can't say, let's take a step back and go do something I enjoy, because as of right now, I don't enjoy anything. That's concerning. The second one is these overwhelming storms of emotion where I feel too many at once. It's like I'm being assaulted by, agitation, anxiety, fear, aggression, sadness, depression, suicidal thoughts. All of these things hit me at once. And so intensely that I'm like pacing around, like screaming, because I just need it to stop. It's too much at once. And then the third one is probably the most unpleasant. I get these emotions that I've never had before. Like, there are no words in the English language for them because they're not normal. They're very abnormal emotional states that they're bizarre and unpleasant. Let's talk about unpleasant emotions for a minute. You get really super angry to the point that you punch a hole in a wall. That's extremely unpleasant to feel. Your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up, and it just completely reduces all, semblance of a good day. You're not going to have a good day after that. Then depression. You get super, even the most extreme depression. You hate everything and you want to die, and, it's bad. Yeah. Anxiety. You can get so scared that you have a heart attack even. Or, as I have at times recently, get so scared that you think about killing yourself just for the sake of ending the fear. So there's that. But these emotions I'm feeling make those look like a cakewalk, because there are no words to describe them, period. There's just none out there. And they're just horrifically awful. You know, it's not necessarily going to come across as an urgent suffering from these emotions that are so strange and horrible, because as of right now, I'm not like running around hyperventilating or whatever. So people on the outside, like you guys watching this, you're not going to say, oh my God, he's suffering through some sort of horrific emotion that I can't even comprehend, and it's killing him inside, and he wants it to stop so much that he might hurt himself. That's not what you're getting from this. I sound normal, I look normal, therefore people aren't taking me seriously with it. But I can assure you that right now I am feeling those bizarre, disturbing, painful emotions that I've never felt in my life before. I've never felt them before. I'm glad I've never felt them, but because they're not normal, they are clearly being caused by a problem in my brain. You guys have never felt them either, unless you have a problem with your brain. In which case, please contact me, because I need to know how to make it through this. But no, the majority of you are going to have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. And as a result, you can't comprehend it. But just take my word for it that this is a nightmare. I need these feelings in my head to stop. These emotions that are just not supposed to be there. I'd like the normal ones back, you know? You got your normal spectrum, you know, happy, sad, angry, scared, you know, there's a few more, but like I'd like that. These bizarre alien, you know, nightmarish emotions that make no sense, that make you feel like you're going insane, I don't care for them at all. And I'd really like that to stop. So those are the three things that I go through right now. Emotional numbness to the point, like such severe emotional numbness that I don't even know why anybody does anything. It's like, what's the purpose? Like, none of this creates an emotional response for me. Then the second thing is, you know, these storms of overwhelming emotion that are so bad that you would do anything to make it stop. And then the third thing is these bizarre, horrible emotions that I've never felt before that make me just want to crawl out of my skin. Like, I can't stand it. And more often than not, I am experiencing more than one of those at once. Like right now, I got the whole numbness thing going on where nothing can make me laugh or cheer me up. You know, but then I'm also going through the horrible mystery emotions. So it is a true struggle to keep fighting this crap, okay? Like, to continue existing is a hell of an effort, and I could really use some help from some doctors, but that's just not happening. I see a psychiatrist on Thursday. That's the day after tomorrow. She could be good and say, take this pill, it's going to help. She could be garbage and say that it's all in my head and I need to suck it up, which I've heard a lot. Or she could be reckless and give me a medication that makes all this worse and I might kill myself. So, don't really know how that's going to turn out. But I'd like to make a statement in this video particularly because it's about my emotions. If anything happens to me, like if I do something to myself, I'd like to make it clear that I am not weak. I did not give up. I am not a failure. As a matter of fact, I have been fighting through a horrific psychological state longer than the average person could tolerate, much longer than the average person could tolerate. And if reckless physicians make it worse to the point that I'm suffering so bad that I can't even control my actions anymore, and during that period of not being able to control myself because I have completely, gone off the track, off the grid, just completely out of my mind emotionally. And I don't even have control over my physical response to these emotions. And I end up hurting myself or somebody else. Don't you dare, say about me that I just wasn't strong enough, or I didn't fight hard enough, whatever, or that I gave up. I've been put in a position where I have suffered through some shit that nobody, no matter what they've done, should ever have to go through. And I don't even know how I'm still fighting. I planned on giving up about 4 days ago, and I'm still here. If this gets any worse, God only knows what I'm going to do or what may happen to me. But just understand how hard I've been fighting, how much I've been struggling, because nobody seems to believe me about that part. I mean, imagine losing complete and total control over your thoughts and emotions and feeling like you're going totally insane and that you can't even handle it anymore and you need it to stop at any cost. But you just suck it up and deal with it anyways, because that's what everybody tells you to do, and that's all you can do. Eventually, you can't suck it up anymore. And I don't know when I'm going to reach that point, but I hope that I have good medical treatment before I reach that point. But if I don't, if everyone fails me, and I don't mean friends and family, I mean, it'll be at your discretion to ask yourself, is there more I could have done? But I'm talking about the healthcare system. If it fails me completely, that's not on me. I put up a hell of a fight and they didn't do their job. They did the opposite of their job. But that having been said, I'm going to keep going right now as long as I can. And if I feel like I can't anymore and I'm still rational enough to make the decision, I'll go to a mental hospital so I'm incapable of hurting myself. But what people don't realize is sometimes in specific scenarios, people who are mentally disturbed reach a place where they're not cognizant of the situation enough to make that decision to go to a hospital, and they may be suffering so much and be so out of control in their actions that it does result in a bad outcome. But that's not where we're at right now. I'm not saying don't be worried about it, but I'm saying don't worry about it today. Today, I think we'll be okay. But just understand this needs to be dealt with in an appropriate manner. And not only is it not being dealt with in an appropriate manner, it's not being dealt with at all. So that's pretty messed up to begin with. But I'm gonna go try and find something that can possibly pull me off this track of feeling like shit, but so far nothing is working.